Hello there, lovely. Good morning and welcome to Camnet TV Breakfast Show. It is a Monday, a new month. Happy September, happy new month to you all, our dear viewers out there. I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. We have Mr. Dennis MUTUMBA with us this morning. He is a good governance activist and advocate on the other hand. Mr. MUTUMBA, good to see you and welcome.
I'm humbled, Joe. Good morning, and how is Camnet TV?
Camnet TV is fantastic, Mr. MUTUMBA, and thank you so much for joining us. Sincere apologies to our viewers for bringing the program slightly late. This was due to overrunning in our programming. However, we are on top of things and we are here. Mr. MUTUMBA, first things first, we are meant to get into our newspapers, but we'll do that later, seeing that we started a bit late. But let's get into it. We have followed you, me and my producers. We have followed you on TikTok, on your socials, and we have seen that you have consistently and persistently continued to comment on the impasse between government and the ECL family. And there are some controversial phrases, sentences, semantics that you've been using on your platforms, but we have brought you here so that you can clarify for us the things that you have been saying. Let's start from one of your TikTok videos where you're saying this could be a cover-up. We need to put our former head of state to rest so that we can move on as a country. Let's begin from there.
Thank you so much, Joe. And I would like also to thank my followers, the TikTok followers. I've avoided, posting this issue on Facebook for some reasons, but I think my comments and my reaction over the embassy of the state and the ECO family has attracted a lot of people. I've been called several times, by unknown people trying to get information from me. Where am I correcting the data?
Where do you get it from?
Joe, I'm a freelance journalist.
In your own right?
But not at your level. You get the point. So I've been collecting information because we have colleagues that are in South Africa. I think also riding on that journalist that was giving us information. I think this time around he has remained in MUTI.
Okay.
So now let me just maybe quickly come to the issue. Why is this burial of the former head of state delayed?
Okay.
It is because the family is disagreeing and the state is willing to negotiate. Now the only question that I would ask, what negotiations are there when they first negotiated and agreed, later on disagreed?
Okay.
So I will put it that the ECL family are getting to be more stubborn.
Okay.
In the sense that you and me may not know what is causing them to disagree, how they want the process of burial to be, because the state, time to time, the president, the secretary to the cabinet, the attorney general himself, who is representing the whole entire country on the public interest, he is willing to continue negotiating so that we have a conclusive agreement to come and put to rest the president at Embassy Park.
Okay.
Now, people are asking questions, including supporters of PF, are coming to understand that the disagreement on the side of the family is just a mere cover-up. Joe, if anyone today will convince me and challenge me on what I want to speak today, as you are asking me, what could be the reason why we have delayed?
Okay.
The big money did not die a normal death. That's my opinion.
Okay.
And you ask me, how do you prove your opinion? Do you know that I suspect the effective in the death report?
Okay. Who?
I'll just speak it, and I want to challenge Makebezu to stand with him in the courts.
Okay.
This is a mastermind of everything that could have happened. The government is insisting to bury this man, with a dignified burial, with that respect that has been given to all the past presidents.
Okay.
The spokesperson of the family saying the man died a private man. What does he mean? Is he a learned man? How can ECL die a private man? When he died with a title that was never removed and it cannot be removed by law, he remains a president. He died with immunity. How does he define privacy in his death? So now, those are arguments that he's putting to say the government did not treat well ECL. And therefore, he died a private man. And he was mistreated. Are you aware, Joe, and the viewers out there, that ECL died with immunity? Can a person with immunity be mistreated? Where is the mistreatment here? Stopping him to travel for the so-called medical, treatment. The government had a reason, I'll tell you today.
Okay.
Any former president, whether he has gone back into active politics, he remains a statesman. Now, there are reasons why that stopping was done. It was a reason that the government had gotten a wind.
Okay.
That is not merely going for medical treatment. He has some intentions when he traveled in the name of medical treatment. So the government did not mistreat him by stopping him because he needed to follow the procedure. You apply to the government when you want to travel. But Makepe Zulu is saying he twice requested the state to travel. The state refused. What are the reasons? Yes, you saw the letter. The secretary to the cabinet replied to the family that it has not been granted that you can travel. There are reasons. The government is very, very, very steady and they're very careful. Do you know that the former head of state has influence? Go to America, go to China, go anywhere. Former presidents have influence. So whenever they are traveling, the state monitor how they travel.
So there is a standard procedure.
There is a standard procedure. You have to, provide information as to why you are traveling. If it is medical treatment, you have a doctor. The state will have to rehearse with a doctor and confirm as to whether it is true you are going for medical treatment. Because the big man carried what we call a diplomatic passport. It's not searchable. These things I'm revealing are things that maybe a number of people should be talking and make the Zambian people understand. When this president is traveling, the former president is traveling, it doesn't matter whether the benefits were removed by the cause of him coming back into active politics. This man remained with a diplomatic passport. No one revoked the diplomatic passport. No one revoked his immunity. Several times, you didn't know, Joe, and the viewers did not know. There are many UPND members who wanted ECL to be stripped off of the immunity. The president himself, Againde Chilema, refused. Are you getting this, Joe? So now what we are saying is that the death of ECL is questionable. That's why maybe even the family quickly made an announcement that the big man has died. They didn't even follow the procedure. Do you know who could have announced the death of the former president? It is not the family. If this family knew that their father, the husband, the uncle had died with a title of presidency, they would have rehearsed with the Zambian embassy in South Africa. Now, you understand how social media works today. There have been a lot of information leaking on social media. Even when you die today, Joe, at least somebody will hide and get a peek when you're on the bed in an oxygen.
Okay.
Have you ever seen any picture that ECO was in hospital? Have you ever seen any picture that leaked that no, finally he's dead? The way you know how careless the social media is. This has never happened in the history of cyberspace. Meaning there is a lot. And I want to tell you as I'm talking, it's not that maybe the government is not aware. In fact, the government has more information than what I can afford you today.
Okay.
This is the reason why you are seeing the state, they're trying also to make an application. We want to view the physical body as we discuss this matter. As we negotiate, we want to see the body. But it has never been easy. You can see the response from even where we suspect that they could have kept the body of ECL. They've said we can't allow anybody until we get a consent from the family. So there is a lot that is covered here. by the so-called a family spokesperson. I would ask you a question. How did he even travel to South Africa? How did he even find himself there? During this period when it was announced that ECL is dead, how did Makebe go there? I want to challenge Makebe because the main problem is Makebe. It's not even about HH. Okay, even in South Africa when they wanted to bury, before they were halted by the courts in South Africa when Attorney General petitioned, did they allow family members, did they allow supporters to see even a casket to be presented? Many of the times when a man with, high status is dead, they could put a casket whilst comforting the family, encouraging the mourners, but this was done in privacy. Was it so private even to the supporters? Joe, we are old enough, we are physically fit in our psychology, and this drama cannot be bought even at one kwacha.
Okay. What are you insinuating, Mr. Mutumba? What are you trying to tell the Zambian people and myself here? What are you really trying to say?
I am not fearing anything to speak so open. Okay. In my own thinking, the big man did not die a normal death.
Okay.
I don't need to be investigated for saying so. Because the state is failing even to see the board of ECL. So can I sue the state to say, make sure we see the body, then we can allow them to bury in South Africa? If they are saying, we can't allow, according to the agreement that was entered therein between the state and them, you saw how they had agreed. The body will be carried by a private jet. When it reaches airport, of course, being a former head of state, okay? Being the former president, he must be welcomed.
Okay.
You had seen how the program was lined up. But what made this family change in the last minute in South Africa at the airport? The same jet which was supposed to carry the body had flown off. And from nowhere, the spokesperson said, "Halt, we are not proceeding." When the militants, they had already paraded themselves. What comes in your mind if you are given a role to investigate this issue? Maybe in your own thinking, what would you think? Okay. And we are told the very day when the jet was going, no journalist, public or private, was allowed to cover when that jet was flying. So what I'm saying now is that the state is aware of really what happened. But because the state is very careful, they are trying to follow a procedure. To me, my opinion is to arrest that family. They are not South Africans. They don't hold any citizenship there. They are Zambians. Since now, as we are waiting for the conclusion, the powers were given to the government to repatriate that body. What should the state do? The president should not be very soft. They must send the intelligence, police, and arrest that family to come and bury here and let them show us the body.
Okay. Viewers, it's getting hot in here. Now please come through. There's a number that is scrolling on your TV screen. Please feel free to come through and give us your contribution, submission on this edition of the Breakfast Show right here on Camnet TV. And do remember that the views expressed on this particular platform do not represent that of Camnet TV, its affiliates or associates. The views expressed here are entirely for the guest and you, the viewer out there, when you call in and decide to give your submission. Let's move on, Mr. Mutumba. Let's go to Eastern Province. We saw the president in Eastern Province over the weekend as we do the weekend review, and we saw that one thing that was coming from there, two things. He talked about unity, the country uniting, and he also talked about raising or increasing salaries or allowances, is it, for chiefs and their retainers. Now this particular one has raised some eyebrows. Other stakeholders are saying it is a good thing. Chiefs play a critical role in society. Together with their retainers, they need to be given good money, good allowances. Others are saying the timing is poor. We are only remaining with a few months towards the election, and they are suggesting that this could be an election gimmick to win or hoodwink the Zambian people's votes, or so that they can be able to vote for the UPND. All these are coming through. I'll be reading you some of the messages that we have received via our inbox, Mr. Mutumba. But let me get it from you, seeing that you also, Mr. Mutumba, you are aware and you are conversant with issues that have to do with tradition. And on the other hand, let me reveal it to the public. You are a headman. So how did this news make you feel?
Being an advocate of good governance and human rights, I'll speak from that angle.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
The president is simply increasing. He's not suggesting to bring an allowance to the chief and the retainers. Is in fact raising the allowance from what SATA started.
Okay.
You know, the chiefs and the retainers deserve a good amount to sustain them, though they have money already.
Okay.
Okay, they're custodian of a government property. To me, Joe, I'll openly say there is nothing wrong. In fact, it's a good idea. Do you know that I'm also trying to advocate that even headmen should be getting something at the end of the month, because we appear on the NRC, a document that is very important. You understand?
Okay.
So there is only the president who appears on the NRC, who represents the Republic of Zambia, and there is a chief where you were born, and there is a village which represents a headman.
Oh yeah.
So this document is very important, that it allows you even to get a passport.
Exactly.
Why don't we deserve to be given a benefit from the national treasury? Though to us headmen, it would be maybe consuming a lot of resources to others to be on their allowance, but we play a vital role. That's why even when the president is coming in our area, you allow the headmen and the chief to be present. We are very important people, including those who protect the chiefs, because they are very important people. They must be given also a better allowance.
You are part of the chief's cabinet.
We are part of the chief's cabinet, because if the chief is coming up with the policies, he only addresses the headmen. You understand? We make the chiefs as headmen. You cannot be a chief without headmen. So now, away from us, for now, let the president for sure motivate the chief. At the end of the day, politician depends on the people of the chief. Even when he's going to seek votes, he goes through the chief. And sometimes even chiefs also plays vital role, because they are the ones who wants to see their people, you know, live in an environment that is conducive, economically, socially, politically. So there is nothing wrong. That's why SATA, unless those who are arguing, they are arguing that what SATA brought is very wrong. When he gave allowances to the chief for the first time, was he campaigning? Was he SATA campaigning? Will you remain to be paid only 2,500 kwacha per month? As years goes on, the economy changes every time.
Okay, but let's listen to some of the messages, Mr. Mutumba. This one here says, even gratuity Yama MPs should be abolished. Paying people who only shout, yeah, it's theft. Why MPs be paid millions for doing nothing? While a teacher, when he retires, she is only retained per payroll, NAPSA, no pension or gratuity. These are conversations people should have as the country prepares to vote next year. We can't continue to make politicians rich. Going forward, we won't allow this. Those are some of the concerns.
I respect the concerns and the idea of considering civil servants just like they consider politicians. We must equalize. Civil servant plays a vital role. To me, let me tell you one thing.
Okay.
Civil servants were supposed to be highly paid, just like in Botswana and many other countries.
Why is it the opposite here in Zambia?
It is the same parliamentarians who are making more money who cannot come up with such laws.
Okay.
So I would suggest that maybe if in the future it allows me to be the parliament, I should be moving motions to increase the salaries of civil servants.
Because like what this text message is saying here, when a civil servant retires, they are meant to be put on a payroll, kunapsa, no pension, no gratuity. Remember, they've removed the lump sum component.
Yeah.
You can't receive your 400,000 at once, your 350 at once. You need to start going monthly. You are given this salary every month, and you've got bills to pay. You are in your 50s. You are old. You're getting older. Why is it like this? Is this also contributing to how the civil service operates in Zambia? We're talking about teachers. We're talking about the health sector as well, nurses, clinicians, and doctors. Is this also contributing to how these sectors are affected because of the not little or paltry, but not satisfactory salaries that are given to these individuals?
I think this policy, to me, is a good one, except that we need to be careful because, you know, some civil servants could have not invested during the period they are working before they retire. Okay, so the idea is that they are relieved from the stress because some people, if they are given a lump sum, okay, you know very well that, you know, retirees have misused the money, retirees have gone for side chicks after getting these benefits, retirees have gone drinking. So the government thought, if we are to put them on a payroll, meaning they will be able to sustain themselves. But the issue is, when you retire as a civil servant, before you retire, what is it that you cannot use that money prudently when it's given to you at once before you even build a house? That's why the government has come up with a policy to allow civil servants get loans in order for them to build houses, okay, to buy land, okay, invest in agriculture,
but these loans,
in business.
Mr. Mutumba, these loans come, don't lose your thought, please don't lose your thought. These loans come at high interest rates.
That is where now parliamentarians should agree with private microfinance institutions that if they were to borrow, if civil servants were to borrow, let them borrow from government. Just like, you know, they give CDF, they give CEC. How much is the interest? 5%. But for sure, I agree with you that the interest rate is too high, such that at the end of the day, if one maybe, for example, is given 80,000, for 5 years, this person must be able to be servicing this loan. At the end of the day, the only question that I have for you and the viewers and all the civil servants that will follow us later, how do they use their money? When they are getting a loan, what do they want to do? How do they want to invest the money? Because this money now looks like it's a demonic money, where most civil servants are failing to utilize the money. At the end of the day, you have heard some of the people are hanging themselves, they are committing suicide. So we should come up with a policy where these banks, when they are lending our civil servants, they must at least reduce the what? The interest rate. And the government should cushion, okay, the other money to support the civil servants. Now, it is all about the laws that these parliamentarians are making in the House, in the August House. So, my appeal to the government is that as time is going, we need to revise certain policies. We need intelligent members of parliament who think about also the civil servants, because the loans that they've been getting from the time that the government allowed the civil servants to be getting loans, there are very few that have invested. In fact, the civil servants today, teachers, nurses, whoever has gotten a loan, they are regretting. There are some who are on a negative, pay slip today, such that they can't even get any single way because they've gotten money from 3 banks, and these banks are deducting every month. Ndarama zikangena zaenda asala manje civil servant, lerosa kongresa civil servant. I want to say it out there. Don't borrow money to a civil servant because he has nothing to give you back at the end of the month. They've kept on getting loans from one bank to another, even going beyond the banks.
But as an activist, Mr. Mutumba, are you being fair to civil servants? Civil servants run the economy of this country. They run the wheels of the economy. You go to a public health facility right now, you're going to find civil servants. You go to a school right now, a public school, you're going to find civil servants. Our defense forces, civil servants. They practically run the economy of this country. Are we giving them enough? Are we appreciating them enough so that they continue to work and be able to satisfy us, the Zambian people? Because if we are able to say we're going to give allowances to the chiefs and their retainers, and in fact, retainers, we're talking about Wakapaso.
No, the
bodyguards.
The title is good. When you say Wakapaso, they feel very bad. Okay, so just use English to say retainers.
I wanted to translate it for my dear viewer out there to understand what we're talking about. And now we are seeing that nothing is being talked about civil servants. We're coming from a background where there was wage freeze, no salary increment for a civil servant. We're talking about employment freeze, no employment in the civil service. And now here we have the UPND. Are we going to see, from where you are seated, Mr. Mutumba, with the information that you have, are we going to see a situation where civil servant salaries are elevated, whereby when somebody is a civil servant, they've got that pride to say, not just the pride of saying Nini Moboma, you know this usual saying, but that pride that comes with assets, that comes with you showing that yes, you are in the civil service. If you are a director in the civil service, you are a director indeed. Money is there to show that this is a director in the civil service. Are we going to see such a time in Zambian history?
Yeah, I pray that we see the civil servants smiling, get back to a smiling face. Civil servants are crying every day. Civil servants, they don't sleep. Civil servants are struggling. Civil servants are no longer breadwinners, they are very broke. But we are praying that the president see to it that civil servants are heavily paid so that the economy runs well. You know very well, when the civil servants are paid between 20th and 30th, you see how the economy improves, especially to the businessmen.
Exactly.
You get the point?
Exactly.
So now, I'm not trying to say that their salaries right now are okay. They are not even better. We want to see a situation that UPND, by the time they are leaving, power, let them leave a legacy to elevate, okay, to bring pride in the civil service, where the salaries are increased. For example, teachers. I will begin with teachers. Teachers must be highly paid. Do you know, if I was the president, how much teachers would be paid?
How much?
The minimum should be 15,000.
Minimum.
You get the point?
Okay.
At a diploma level. At a degree level, they must be paid 25,000.
Or more.
Okay, masters, they must be getting about 30,000. They play a vital role. The English we are talking about today, has it not been a teacher, even the president would have not been there. Talk of other civil servants, security wings, okay, these that are in these other sectors, healthy, they must be equally given enough. This is how you would reduce corruption as well. When they are less paid, they indulge themselves into corrupt activities. Today I want to tell you, those that were clever before even UPND came into power, most civil servants, because of paying them less, they had a lot of deals such that you would not know that the most houses in Chalala, in Kasama, they are owned by merely civil servants. But we want to see civil service, all of them, they must be driving. That's a policy that is in Botswana.
Okay.
If a private worker can be given and entitled to a loan to build a house and buy a car, what of here in Zambia? So what is there is that government should plan very well under Ministry of Finance.
Come to that. You talked about driving.
Yeah.
I know of private schools here in Lusaka where their teachers do not even dream about working for GRZ. Because here is a teacher of chemistry, of English, driving the latest Mercedes-Benz. A teacher.
Fueling it.
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
It
And when you go to these...
half tank.
Yes, when you go to some of these private schools, I'm sorry for those that drive a Vitz or whatever, but you won't find a Vitz there parked. You won't find a small, let me just say, you won't find a small car parked there. There are big machines that are parked there. And these are driven by teachers. So now, if somebody's going to be in government and the only pride that they have is, I work in government, GRZ, and yet when it comes to them showing off the assets that they have, they've got nothing to show for. Then my question is, how do we begin to elevate civil servants? We saw President Michael Chufyasata, may so rest in peace. When he came in, he did 100% increment to civil servants. Remember where we're coming from. Nurses, teachers were getting as little as 600. You know those days. You remember those days. Yes. So why have we continued to seemingly neglect our civil servants as a nation? Not blaming it on any government, but through successful governments, why have we continued to neglect our civil servants?
Looking at the manifesto of the UPND, I think also their ideology is to look into the welfare of the civil service.
Okay.
This government is aiming so high, but unfortunately, there is a lot they are working on. But quickly, in as much as they are trying to stabilize, you know, the environment.
You talked about the Ministry of Finance.
You get the point.
Don't lose that.
That is the ministry that is planning for everything we are talking about right now. So they must consider and look into the welfare of the civil service. At least, you know, increase their salaries and allowance reasonably, so that, you know, they are able to work diligently to the core of the ruling government. But in as much as they are not considered, they will have nothing to appreciate this government. They will always be complaining, because any government that considers the civil servants are ever happy. Civil servants are a source that, you know, boosts some benefits of some businesses elsewhere. You get the point. So my appeal to the government, the current government, is that they consider increasing the salaries of all civil servants equally. Of course, we know sectors are paid differently. Some are paid because of their expertization. Some are paid because of, you know, their high profession they have. But we must promote equity in terms of increasing the salaries. Now, these unions that are representing civil service are not even doing the best.
Why do you say so, Mr.
Today, maybe some could be fearing to speak the truth on behalf of the members who are in their unions. But I want to engage the unionists that let them fully and openly speak, because then when they're in the union, as leaders of, you know, affiliated or allied workers, they are given money which is being contributed. It's mandatory that, you know, deductions are done for you to go and affiliate yourself to a union, depending on where you are coming from, which sector are you coming from. Are you getting the point? But now, these must sometimes, you know, protests. For example, if they've increased the 500 from 7,000 kwacha, that will come to 7,500. You're looking at the economy. How is the economy? How much are we spending monthly? Okay? So now, we have institutions that are able to say, our economy now, if you have 5 family members, including your wife, at the end of the month, you must spend 10,000, but you are only getting about 8,000. You even stop buying shirts. Not until you get a loan. And when you get that loan, you must invest it so that it supports you when you get that little salary.
So now my question, Mr. MUTUMBA, is that why can there be a deliberate policy from a government? You know, there are these SIs that they sign. Or why can't we have a statutory instrument, maybe from government, yes, from government, or just a deliberate policy that can allow civil servants to get loans at 0% interest rate or less? Because I'm saying this, we have seen our foreign nationals that come in Zambia with nothing. They go to a known bank right here in Lusaka. They get a loan, whether it's $1 million, that is, at 0% rate, interest rate. Then they're able to do great things, and they're able to pay back at 0% rate. Now, this is a civil servant, works for the government Republic of Zambia. Why can they walk into a bank, get a loan at 0% rate? Then government, obviously, with that bank, can get into an MOU and be able to subsidize that particular loan. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is that government itself has got a bank where most civil servants have got accounts from. They can be giving them loans at a reduced rate. Why can't we see these things happening? Why should a Zambian, a civil servant who works for this particular country, who is also a taxpayer, but why should we continue seeing them suffering? And sometimes it's not really even motivating to become a civil servant, especially to the young ones that are coming, because they look at the struggles that their parents, their sisters are going through.
That's a brilliant idea to a nation that is very rich in terms of resources, because it is the income that we correct at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Okay, how are we using the natural resources God gave us? We are into agriculture, we are into mining. We do a lot of economical activities as a government. So what is important is to plan. You look at, how much are we making at the end of the day? So now, I remember one time the president was able to address the nation that about 48% goes to civil service. So you're talking about maybe 52% is going to these other activities. Your idea is good, but it goes by what are we making? Where are we getting the money? Rich countries, they have such policies, because if they are given a loan on a zero interest, it is not a loss, because at the end of the day, it is what we correct from our activities, our businesses as a government. So it goes by planning. It goes by, strictly keeping the money which is meant to support the workers that are also making money, because each sector is at least realizing something. There is no ministry that does not make money. Every ministry, at least it makes money. You get the point? That's why today, under the New Dawn government, I love the way they came up, to increase the grants, okay? So that, schools are able to manage administratively their programs and so forth. But I ride on your idea that come next year, any leader that would be there, if it is Againde Chilema, I think strategically, with economical advisors, with planners, because it goes by planning. So the Ministry of Finance has a task to that challenge, to make sure that every civil servant, to control and also relieve stress from civil service, they must allow civil servants get a loan. If it is one opt to get from a private bank, which is not Zanaco, they must incur, because those private banks, they also want to make a profit. But Zanaco is our own business. It's a PLC. You get the point. So now, meaning we can utilize Zambian banks, not save, we have these other banks that have maybe a bigger share, okay, in these banks. They can allow that policy to get a loan on a zero interest. We can do it as a government.
And Mr. MUTUMBA, again, a suggestion has come through. If, for instance, politicians, you know how politicians are.
Yeah.
When they argue that maybe that's not feasible, there's another suggestion to say, okay, fine, there is free education and no child is allowed to pay any monies. Now, this suggestion goes to say, it's another school of thought, to say, how about if a child is allowed to pay a 150 or a 200 per month, just as a contribution, as a token of contribution. So, for instance, a child is meant to pay a 200 kwacha per month. And we're talking about a school with 900 learners. Okay? So if we're saying a school with 900 learners, that's 180,000, Mr. Mutumba, per month being generated by that particular school. I know politicians like to look at these things in terms of winning elections, in terms of getting political mileage, but political parties come and go. We're looking at Zambia in the bigger picture and how our civil servants and the Zambian people at large can be emancipated economically. So if a school is making 180,000 per month on average, that is if they've got 900 learners, and the learners are paying a contribution fee of 200 kwacha, any parent would like to do that to make sure that the learning environment is conducive, these schools are able to sustain themselves, because even with the grants that are being given right now, they are not able to sustain these schools. You can go around Lusaka and see how these schools are in a dilapidated situation, and we have been told of 1x2 classroom blocks. What is a 1x2 classroom block in Lusaka, Mr. Mutumba? In Shangombo, in Musheke, Ndi, Kwana, Bwadia, Mugubu, Duka, Puta, those will be appreciated. But here in the urban areas, people are looking at two-story buildings. If you build a school that has got two-story buildings, then obviously you're going to be appreciated that things are being done. And we have seen schools, obviously in the past, Mr. Mutumba, that have got two-story buildings, such as Kabwe High School in Central Province and Caritas in Central Province. There's nothing new that is currently happening through successful governments. The Zambian people are saying they want to see transformative development. Mr. Mutumba, how do we achieve that? As we begin to wind up, I know our last topic is discussion point rather is fuel. But how do we begin to get to that point?
Joe, in rich countries like China, a child, a citizen of China, should not pay anything because the government is making money. Okay? So those suggestions to allow poor children to be contributing, whether 150 or 200, to raise that amount of money you mentioned.
So that every month, when they come to school, they'll have breakfast, they'll have lunch, they'll have books. They don't have to come with books because the school is making 180,000 kwacha per month. When they come to school, they don't come with books. The school will provide. The school provide breakfast.
We are dealing with a nation that is very poor.
But the rich in resources.
Now look here. We are looking at a country that is very poor, with its civil servants that are getting less money, who needs to support these children, maybe termly or monthly. Now, the government idea with free education, the soonest they would begin to provide books. They've already started providing food, if you didn't know. Children, younger ones from grade 1 up to 7, they are cushioned during the breakfast, they are given maybe sample. But the government, according to what I have, okay, they are trying to plan bigger, such that if possible, including those that are in grade 12, they should be going for lunch and have a
But
free
when
meal.
will that happen?
Now,
the plans are not sustainable.
Rome was never built in one day, but those plans are there. The only thing we can pressure the government is to quickly look into that, so that we don't delay. But now, I wish you and me would be president. I feel for the president. The pressure is too much, and that's too much. Yeah. You get the point. So time to time, I think they are not sleeping. They are looking at, as we bring free education, what else can we cushion to this free education? So these ideas are correct. Right now, as we are speaking, maybe the president will watch what we are talking about. Are you getting the point? Intelligence will forward what we are talking about. So our prayer is that we should not say, no, we cannot manage. We are saying, let us manage your ideas so that this government is appreciated. Even young ones will say, oh, we are even given breakfast and lunch. Do you get the point?
You know why I'm asking?
It will motivate the young ones even when they are at school.
I'm asking that, Mr. Mutumba. You are right. You are quite all right when you say young ones will be motivated to go to school because they believe this is a conducive environment and the like. But now, the thing is that political parties have got an expiry date. You know?
A mandate, a period when they
they're supposed to be in government, Mr. Mutumba, and they have to go back every 5 years to seek for that mandate. But Zambia will always be here. Now,
let me cut you short your question.
Let
me cut you short your question because I know where you're going.
Okay.
You are simply saying that government comes and go.
Yes.
Have you seen countries where you have a president that has been in power for more than 35 years? What makes you think they live in power? Rwanda. How is Rwanda treating the civil servant? How is Rwanda, managing education service? If you serve better and good, do you know that people would want to change the constitution to allow Hakainde Hichilema to serve even 50 years? Now, what I'm saying is, these ideas we are discussing are very important. In fact, the best ideas. But governments should come up with policies that will stand the test of time. It calls for a political will. Are you getting the point? And all these laws should be made in parliament. But the problem that we have is, we may have a good president, but we have useless parliamentarians. The noise they are making, that's why that guy, I think, texted you to say, these guys are getting more money, a gratuity of maybe about 5 million. But getting this 5 million out of a noise and also moving motions that are useless. We want to see parliamentarians that are selfless, who will be true servants, who when they stand, they will remember a poor young child in their area, and they would want to make that child better. Let me tell you what these politicians are doing. And this is the fact. I hope no one will hate me. These schools we are talking about, no MP is taking their children to these schools you are talking about, which is receiving maybe a 50,000 grant per term. They've taken their children to London. They've taken their children elsewhere, even when they are sick. These health services you are talking about, which needs elevation and transformative development, when they are sick, they don't go to those health posts. We should come up with a law that no child of a minister, of an MP, would be taken elsewhere, if not in these clinics where there are no medicine. So that when there is no medicine, it is the MP who question the Minister of Health. How is it that when the budget is presented, there is no medicine in Mukobera Falumba Clinic? Am I speaking something that makes sense?
You are.
So now, it is a problem that starts from the members of parliament. They must, come up with laws that benefits each and every person regardless of the status. But all they do, they promote laws which mostly benefits them. At the end of the day, by not providing good laws, they are making more money. And the people who pays for them to get these millions remains vulnerable and very poor.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Mutumba. Does the Zambian voter, including a civil servant out there, realize that when these aspiring candidates come to kneel before them, they are not seeking to save them, but they are seeking for them to assist them to get employed? Because parliamentarians are employed under the National Assembly.
That is the truth.
They are employees of the National Assembly.
In fact, today, the politics of today, if there's a business that is more profitable and you can make money overnight, is politics, especially when you have leaders
who want to business.
Do you know that there are very few selfless leaders? I thank the president. Let me rate him as the best president. I think this man, if the laws allow him, many people do suggest that he goes further. But the constitution says you want to save how many?
2 terms.
2 terms, and he's promoting and advocating for that. Now, the problem is that we have these that we vote for, trusting them with their sweet talk. They're just like, men who are proposing women. Sometimes women are taken by some handouts that comes before. They really see reality. Those nice kisses, you think they will last in the house. But the moment they get into the house, they will go again and start kissing others. Now, that is for another topic. So all I'm saying is, yes.
Okay.
So the problem that we have is that the electorates must be educated on how to see quality leaders. But it's not the case, because most politicians are merely businessmen. They want to have access to some contracts. They want to use influence when they are voted into power. I want to believe 2026 leaders are not what I'm talking about.
Mr. Mutumba, let me ask you this question. I know my parliamentarian friends won't be happy with this question, but let me ask. As a member of parliament, you're already privileged. You've got that privileged position. Then we discover that you have contracts with government, disadvantaging that entrepreneur, and government is encouraging for young people to become entrepreneurs and be able to access some of these contracts and become tenderpreneurs. But you find that these tenders are given to a company that is affiliated with this member of parliament, for instance, or this minister. Then, to make matters worse, you find that their spouses, they're already privileged, but you find that they're in these parastatal bodies. They are having big positions. She's a board member, she's a director of what. And you look at ordinary Zambians who have to compete now to get jobs with a spouse of a parliamentarian, with a spouse of a minister, with a daughter to this minister or whoever leader that is. You look at their children. Ordinary Zambian children are supposed to be, for instance, at the University of Zambia, public university, that is, to be given bursaries. But you find that it's the privileged children again, children of MPs, children of ministers, that are getting these 100% bursaries at these public institutions, competing with an ordinary Zambian child who's coming from Namwala. The father is just a peasant farmer, and they say, you've got these good points, let's send you to the University of Zambia, or Copperbelt University, or Mulungushi University, or any other public institution out there. But you find that they come here, they begin to compete for these bursaries with privileged children, such as children of ministers, children of MPs, and such individuals in the political circle. Why is it like that? Is it that politics in Zambia is for individuals to enrich themselves and those that are close to them?
It's just corruption.
Okay.
It's just corruption because I think we have laws that forbids those that are serving in a government position not to deprive the most vulnerable upcoming business persons. When you talk about the bursaries, for sure, it calls for connections. We've been called several times. You know, I have people that have been calling me, Mr. Mutumba, you are highly connected. Please try to do us a favor. I have a child who needs, you know, a scholarship in the higher education, you know, under what we call scholarship board. I've told them, you must be picked on merit because you deserve it. So the challenge has been that I think you have one of the ministers that was convicted for not declaring, you know, interest in the contract, okay? So let's come up with a law that those that are serving already the government should not win, okay, projects or tenders within their ministries or elsewhere. But of course, being in a business environment, every person, you know, politicians are businessmen. They are also entitled to win contracts, but let them be picked on merit. For example, if you have a company that can bid in your own ministry when you're a minister as an MP, you must declare interest to say, people, I do this business, this is my criteria, I'm able and have the capacity. So let the government know that you have declared interest because it is a business. There is nothing wrong for you when you're a minister to tender within your ministry, but you must write that you have an interest because you are a chairperson.
Isn't it where now abuse of authority comes in? Because
when you don't declare
as a minister,
when you don't declare, already, there is a provision that when there is a tender advertised, you can bid. You get the point. As a minister who is an MP, wherever you are coming from, whether you are nominated
as
or elected, as a PS, but we should not encourage ourselves when we are in a position to take contracts that are supposed to empower other people who would plow back to the government as taxpayers. So it's all about, you know, these laws you have talked about are made by the same people who want to benefit, because I've said most laws are made to advantage those who makes them. You make a law because you are mistreated. You come up with a law just because maybe it disadvantaged you. It should not be like that. So let's make favorable laws that can bring everybody, every Zambian, because at the end of the day, whatever you are getting, whether you are in office, it was because of a poor person who trusted you, who thought when you are put there, you will defend them in everything. You get the point?
Okay, Mr. Mutumba, before we go to fuel,